Very good morning to you all. Hope you're all well. Just so you know that we've got this Black Friday deal running, you might be aware about it. You might be vaguely familiar about FX SSI. If you're familiar about what they do, I won't really need to talk too much about it because they're like the best sentiment indicators available for public consumption. This is pretty much what the hedge funds and the brokerage firms and the big banks, they all have visibility of liquidity, of retail liquidity. Now, without these indicators, you don't have visibility of that. So that for itself is a huge selling point. And so much, what I'll do is I'll show you what I mean by those liquidity targets. We come to a thing called the stop loss cluster indicator, which is here. And then you can see how it works. And the market is hunting liquidity because they want to offset their slippage, and also they want an easy yield. They want a high yield, high probability trade, and the high probability trade is to target the liquidity from the retail traders. And we're talking about a vast amount of some as well, because there's so many retail traders out there in the world. They're basically easy prey, but they're just a huge pool of money that they can target. When I say they, I mean like the sharks and the wolves. And so much is that what will happen is that, say, the herd are convinced on this move to the downside, and then they're probably thinking, well, maybe we've bottomed out. I'm gonna look for a long here, and then they're gonna place a stop. It should be wide enough. We've created that low, and it comes down to take their stops, and so they're looking for continuation on that break. We had a break of structure, so we could say technically, it was actually quite bearish there. We've broken that low, broken those lows, plural. They're looking to shorts. It's looking okay, and of course we've got the rug pull, and we had a liquidity probe. Okay, now without the stop loss clusters, you're not going to be aware of where the stops are and where the targets are. So you can put like a magnet here. You can put a magnet here, you can put a magnet here. Price will gravitate towards the liquidity because it's like a high yielding, high probability trade for the big boys and their big pockets. So that's really cool in itself. Could make a really long video about the other indicators because you've got the thing called the order book, and that'll tell you the market overview, the big picture view of their. I'll show you actually. It's going to be easier just to show you sentiment. So you definitely get the Pro Pack because that's got everything in there that you want. Order book. Now, it just basically, in a nutshell, there's a video there, and what will happen is that these are the positions and these are the stops. So we can see what happens when we've got an overwhelming bias of current positions. We'll see that price tends to act as a support because they're trying to short it, and so that it's going to act as a support. We should come up, okay? And so up we go, and there's a guide tutorial. There's the support. This is what I just talked about just now. If they come in and they're very convinced on the direction, the opposite is likely going to happen. And this is where the news comes in as well. And sometimes you need like scary news events in order to get them to go one particular way and then buy or sell. And then, they'll get hounded, and then they get preyed upon, and then those stops will get taken. So that's like the MetaTrader 4 and 5 indicators. And what we want to do, what I want to talk about is the trading view aspect, because this is only available for lifetime at the moment. Okay, so it's definitely a big selling point right now is the trading view aspect. So we might not want the ratios there, for example. We may want to take that off, but if you want to have them back on, you can. Open interests, which is quite funky. It looks nice. Open interest is an interesting one because it doesn't necessarily tell us direction, but it tells us when we have an influx or like a subtraction from that particular instrument or symbol. So if we're having an increase in open interest, not necessarily, it doesn't tell us buy or sell, but it just tells us there's an increased interest in that instrument, so we can see moves essentially. Okay, so that looks quite nice. This is all very funky, looks very powerful. And of course, these heat maps are your targets. Okay, so to the downside, look for EU at 1:15.53. And to be honest with you, it's at the round number. There's like a round number there at 50. So that could be a decent place for your long. Okay, you look for a retracement to buy, and then you can have your stop just below the stop loss cluster. So you probably want to stop maybe 1:15.40, have a 10 pip stop, come down to grab that, up we go, and to target up here, 1:16. So very, very simple, very easy method. And on the right is your order book as well. So it's all very, very cool, very, very powerful, and 100% recommended. You're not going to get an insight like this without these indicators. And I mean that. There's nothing. You got the order book at Wanda, and you could probably have the order book at some other broker firm. But this encapsulates all brokers, all the big brokers, into one. So it's not just one set of data, but it's like an amalgam of data sets. So it's very, very powerful essentially. So you've got your MetaTrader 4 and 5, and then you've got your trading view. And if you want to sub, don't forget we have the QuasiDB code as well here. They get you a discount. So I think that's fair value for a lifetime. To be honest, use the promo code for a small discount. It'll help me, and it'll help you with your trades as well. Any questions, let me know, because I've been using these for the last 5 years plus, and so I can definitely help you if you've got any questions. And I wish you a good day. Remember to trade safely as well, and I'll speak to you guys soon.